That's right. We're doing organic stuff again.
I wanted to revisit a little bit last week's topic and talk a little bit more about organic shapes, but more in the sense of product design a little bit, so not necessarily drawing fruits and whatnot. Just because it's interesting, the things that you also do in product design, because we have a lot of products that have to be organic. If you think about, for example, a mouse that I'm drawing here, they have to be ergonomic. They have to go with the shape of the palm, and those are really surfaces that are not just boxes, and not just straight flat surfaces, but really changing and tilting surfaces. And I thought, okay, it's worth definitely talking about that a little bit as well. And basically, I just wanted to show you my approach, which is still starting sort of out with boxes, because the easiest way is to start out something that you can measure and manipulate easily. And for me, boxes are the starting point, because you can easily divide and subdivide them and then create these helping surfaces and helping planes for yourself. In this case, I created a box for the bottom of the mouse, and I had its section line in the middle, and on that section line I also erected a perpendicular plane onto the mouse, and then on that plane I could draw the side, let's say side view of the mouse almost in this 3D view. And from there I just really tried to project those points and try to have intersecting plane and really just follow the points that I set myself out on those planes to have that really nice. So you have the curvature of the mouse, but then on the right side you also have a little bit of indent for your thumb. And actually I don't know what the fleshy part below your thumb is called, but yeah, that's where that can rest on this mouse. And it's a little bit based on the more ergonomic shape, more expensive mice that you can buy. And yeah, it's really about building those basic shapes that I keep on talking about all the time. But even from basic shapes, you can end up with relatively quite complex or organic shapes in this case. And that's what you can see with this mouse that I drew here. Okay, so let me jump in here and do a little bit of explanation. So if I draw, let me go back to something simple, like a little box here, and if I want to replicate this box, the easiest way is usually subdivide it or copy it the axes that we already have here. So we have the X, Y, and Z axis, and this seems a bit boring, but it's gonna get interesting soon. So the easiest way is, if I want to copy the box that way, this is a simple trick that you learn during perspective classes already. Then you can just keep on copying it, and obviously because of perspective it gets shorter and shorter, and you can bring it the same way this way. But you can also make it smaller by subdividing the original box. So let's say I'm gonna take the halves of everything, so half here, half here, half here, half here, and then from here I can say, okay, this distance I'll just bring it here. I'm also gonna half the bottom part of it, so I know that this distance needs to come, and there. So from here I just come up. Here's the, oh, sorry, I missed the middle. This is the middle part. Oh, here we go. And let me just connect everything nicely together. And now we have a smaller version of the same box. I can come, oh, that was not quite nice, but I can come this way, that way. So really from here on out, it's up to you to how you subdivide it and which directions you move. And then also you can subdivide it as many times as you want in different ways. You can bring out pieces here. If you want to make this box somewhere bigger, you just say, okay, I'm just gonna bring it out here, and this middle section is going to be a little bit enlarged, maybe both ways, but you can also go, it's gonna be enlarged into all the directions. It's gonna look something like this in that case, right? There we go. And this you can do also, this is where the organic part comes in. This you can do with cylinders. So let's say I have this cylinder here. And let me make this a little bit bigger. I'm gonna connect it together. Now I can subdivide this the same way. Usually what I do is I decide for an arbitrary axis here, because we have the long axis and the short axis on which we build the cylinder. But you can give it many axes if you want. So I just decide, let's say we look this way. This is the front. So I take an axis here and I bring this down, connect it through the middle, and then this will be sort of a division plane for me through the center. Why I do this is because now I have this section line here, and on this section line I can decide half it and then maybe half there again. And from this point where I say, okay, I'm going to half it here, I'm just going to draw another axis in the center of this cylinder that's parallel, well, not parallel, but as parallel as it gets with these two. And then from here, I just make sure I know that this is where my ellipse comes in. I'm just trying to fit it as nicely as I can in here. And now we have a division for this cylinder. And what you can do from here on out, you can really start and make it bigger. So I'm just gonna do this. So we know still this will be our short axis all the time, and that will be our long axis. But this axis here gives us how wide we want our cylinder to be. So I can just go like this. There we go. Something, I feel I went a little bit over there, so let me just make sure I'm satisfied. This is the hard part, right? Getting a cylinder. Okay, now I like it. There we go. And then from here on, like you will see also, and let me draw another one, because I did this other sectioning here as well. So let me just make a smaller one here and maybe bring it out just a little bit. Let me see how I can fit this in here. Cylinders are always hard. Maybe I should draw them more often as well. Yeah, something like this, I would say. Yeah, if we take this one, and let me just erase that part away. Okay, so now we have these lines here, which technically, if I connect these nicely, this one looks this way, but then we have the sides here as well. And I'm just gonna connect basically where the long axis touches each of these cylinders, because that should be sort of like the edge or the side of this shape, whatever I'm creating here. And this I showed you sort of last time as well. This is how you just use, I didn't go enough deep in depth with how the subdivision really helps you in finding your shape, your organic shape. And this is a simple one, and then later on I'm going to talk also about more complex shapes where you have to sort of combine things like these. But I just wanted to go a little bit more in depth with adding these extra planes and dividing your very easy and very basic shapes. So let's go back to some more examples. So this is an interesting point here because I have the cylinder, but I totally slanted the upper cylinder top of it. As you can see, it's not on a parallel, not layer, but plane with the bottom. And this is also that is very good and important when you want to work on organic shapes, because that's why they're organic, because even if you want to imagine, let's say, imaginary planes, they will be in all sorts of different and uncommon ways. So planes will not always be nicely perpendicular and nicely parallel with each other. So that's why it's important to learn how to control these planes. And in this case, you can also see a lot of the little helping dots that I talked about before, where I create this. Well, in this case, the middle ellipse, or the middle plane, is definitely parallel with the bottom one, but still not with the top one. But I needed that to help me create this bulge in front of the shaver. As you can see, the shape goes a little bit around. And once again, these section lines that I project and that I bring to the front are very important to explaining the actual overall shape of the bodies. And that's what I do here. And I think I will do another drawing after this, which will be a ski pole handle sort of thing, but I will just let the video roll. I don't have much to add to this one, but I made sure that it's not faster than 2x speed, so I hope you can still take a lot away from these and you found it useful. Feel free to ask questions, just leave them in the comment sections and I'll make sure to come back either with a reply now in the comment section, or I'll just maybe in the next video. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and took something away from it. Stay safe and see you fine folks next time. Bye bye.